Hello, it's Troy here. I am in Lighthouse Park in Pascagoula, Mississippi. And this is an exciting vlog for me. I'll be doing some Jimmy Buffett sites here and down in New Orleans and in Biloxi along the way. Just some significant sites in Jimmy Buffett's life and career. Well, here I am, Jimmy Buffett's boyhood home. Right here it is, in Pascagoula, Pascagoula, Mississippi. That's where Jimmy was born, December 25th, 1946. And he lived here for a short time before they eventually moved to Mobile, Alabama. It's a private residence, so obviously I'm not gonna bother the resident, but they have a sign in front, so I'm assuming they understand that people will come look at this house. It's at the corner of Garfield and Roosevelt. And I feel like Adam the Woo with a leaf blower going on down the street. It says on the sign here, even after he moved from Pascagoula, he returned quite often to visit relatives in the area. And after Hurricane Katrina did a lot of damage to the area, he made significant contributions towards refurbishing the city library here. And then also he has the famous song, Pascagoula Run. Okay, now on to our next site. Okay, now here we are at the Hotel Villa Convento, and it is on Ursulines Street here in the French Quarter. Found in my research on Jimmy Buffett sites from New Orleans, I found an old article that said that this was at the time a boarding house for people. It's currently a hotel, but it was a boarding house where people could rent a room short term. And the hotel claims that Jimmy Buffett rented a room here back in the 70s, early 70s, when he was buxing around New Orleans. Said that he stayed in room 305. But this is the Hotel Villa Convento, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it was called the Old Town Villas when Jimmy Buffett stayed here. Now that's according to the hotel. I couldn't find any confirmation from Jimmy that he stayed here, but it is on Ursuline Avenue. Down you can see down the street both ways, right here. And 300, I would assume, would be up there on the third floor. Here we are at the Cafe Dumonte coffee stand. You might know it from the Wino and I Know. It's just a famous coffee shop here in New Orleans with also good donuts and beignets. They claim to have the best beignets in the world, and they were pretty darn good. But here is the Cafe Dumonte from the song Wino and I Know. Cafe Dumonte is right here off of St. Louis Cathedral and Jackson Square is right there. And it's just right across the street, right over here in the French Quarter. Very easy to find. A lot of activity going on down here. And this is right outside Jackson Square.
Sorry.
It's alright. This is right outside Jackson Square, which is right there. And this, you see some artists set up. This was a very popular place for street musicians to play in the 70s. And it's commonly believed that Jimmy Buffett played these streets before he scored his first paying gigs or bar gigs. He was a street performer along some of these streets in the early 70s. Before he moved to Key West. So you can see right here, there's one musician you can hear, and there's a lot of artists set up now. I think the musicians come out later in the evening, but it's along here, and it's a square, so it's around all four sides. Okay, so this is where I believe was the former Bayou Room that Jimmy had his first paying gig in 1970 down here on Bourbon Street. Here's Bourbon Street. It was called the Bayou Room back in the 1970s when Jimmy would have played here. I found an old Instagram post of Jimmy's standing up front of here, and it was called Stilettos at that time. And now it is apparently called Blaze Bourbon. Doesn't even really look like it's open, so I'm not even 100% sure it's open, but this is what it looks like as the old Bayou Room. Here's a shot from across the street. It's in the middle of Rick's Cabaret and another building that looks like it's being renovated. So based on the address, from the research I could find, this was the old Bayou Room, Jimmy's first playing gig. And here we are at the Sanger Theater. The Sanger Theater is here on Canal Street, here in New Orleans. This is, as we know, Jimmy grew up in Mobile, Alabama, but his uncle had an office in this building, and Jimmy could come. When Jimmy would visit, he would watch movies and theater performances for free in here at the Sanger Theater. And also maybe 2 summers he came down here and did a theater camp. And this is where Jimmy says that he fell in love with entertaining, here at the Sanger Theater here in New Orleans. So this is where Jimmy learned to entertain and be an entertainer, and fell in love with the theater and performance arts and all that. So this is the Sanger Theater. You can see it's here on Canal Street. We've got Jackson Brown coming up, the Counting Crows, Frankie Valley, and Louie. Louie is going to be here as well. And you can see we also have some Broadway shows coming up, including MJ the Musical and A Wonderful World. So, this is where Jimmy got his love for performing, here at the Sanger Theater. Okay, here I am in Biloxi Beach, Mississippi. And if you've heard the song Biloxi, Jimmy's song Biloxi, he says the sun sets out towards New Orleans. New Orleans is that direction. The sun is setting back this direction. So, maybe a little off. But, still, it's Jimmy. We'll give him that. This is Biloxi Beach. If you've never been here, extremely shallow. You can see how far out from the beach I've walked. At low tide, I can walk all the way out here without a problem. So, that's the end of this video. But I will let you enjoy a nice start of a sunset here in Biloxi out towards New Orleans. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Please like and subscribe.